It is a district under the microscope. Loss of accreditation and the threat of state takeover are creating an uncertain future for Kansas City Public Schools.
Now, you would think district leaders would do everything possible to sidestep more criticism. But investigator Kath spent the last 2 months digging into a controversial deal. Ryan.
Mark, our investigation takes a hard look at a project worth millions of your taxpayer dollars. And we're asking tough questions about what some are calling an inside job.
And who made the difference? You did.
After decades of neglect, many Kansas City public school buildings are plagued with rusted pipes, leaky windows, and aging boilers. To stop breaking federal standards with rooms too hot in the summer and too cold in the winter, district leaders are pouring millions of dollars into improvements. Last summer, many of the area's top construction companies made a play for the enormous contract, assembling bids hundreds of pages high for a project with an estimated price tag of $85 million.
We've got a tremendous amount of potential.
Chief Operating Officer Mike Rounds was in charge of the process. He hired 2 paid consultants, and he enlisted the help of Buddy Hawes, a former CEO of an Overland Park energy company and respected industry leader. And for his time, Hawes didn't charge the district a dime.
Buddy did his pro bono for us.
So he advised you for free?
Yes.
What was his incentive for doing all this work for free?
He was pretty upfront with me that he wanted to see this turn out well for the district and whoever we chose as a partner.
But it didn't turn out well. In late August, the district sent this brief email to bidders saying with external assistance, the administration decided it was in the best interest to reject all responses. Companies told us they received no further explanation.
So did Buddy advise you to reject all the bids?
Buddy and I never talked about that.
But emails obtained by 41 Action News show they did keep talking. On the day the rejection letters were sent, Rounds wrote this email to Hawes saying, quote, "I'd still like to sit down with you and discuss a way forward with our infrastructure requirements." A couple weeks later, Hawes asked if he could bring a business partner to a meeting.
So Buddy essentially shifted from advisor to competitor.
Yes.
In October, the district put out this new request. Many of the same companies competed again to manage a project estimated at $30 million. But the district chose a new company no one else had heard of before, HMM Construction Services.
What critics are saying is that you selected a company that had only existed for a few weeks and had never done a project.
The criteria was not how long have you been a company. The criteria was how long have you been doing great refurbishment work in schools.
But the proposal asked bidders to show your company's experience and to provide a list of references from facilities your firm has managed. State records show HMM was established on October 11th, just a few days after the district requested new proposals. The company's founder, Buddy Hawes.
This is the form letter that was sent out the first go-round.
We shared the documents we obtained with UMKC law professor Bill Black, who specializes in business and governmental ethics. He gave us this candid assessment.
This bid destroys the heart of what it means to have competitive bidding.
Emails we obtained showed Hawes sat in on interviews and reviewed all bids. While Hawes has a lengthy background in the industry, critics say it's no wonder he scored well on this test. He helped write the questions.
Did you ask Buddy when he was advising you to sign a non-disclosure agreement?
I did not.
Why not?
I'm not even sure what value that would have, so I guess you'd have to explain to me why you're asking that question.
Really? Experts told us it's standard business practice to have non-disclosure agreements to prevent consultants or advisors like Hawes from using inside information to their advantage.
It boggles the mind. There is absolutely no reason not to have them sign that agreement. It would have been the first instinct of anybody trying to do it right.
Competitive bidding 101, I would think.
No, it's competitive bidding 1. It's well before 101.
We also have this email from Rounds mentioning the district's attorney had confirmed an emphasis on the value of a non-disclosure agreement.
Should you have done it?
As the individual running the process, should I have done it? Maybe, but it's something that I have to go back and assess now.
HMM's estimate was about $2 million higher than the lowest bid, but the district gave itself the flexibility of choosing what it determined to be the best value.
Need a motion?
Despite the price tag, the item sailed through the approval process on the school board's consent agenda. This means board members signed off on HMM's $2.1 million management contract without any discussion or questions from the public.
That motion has been made.
So why would the district fast-track a project project with so many ethical questions. Haas was involved with a long list of school projects in the past, and we wanted his take. After 2 weeks of calls and emails went unanswered,
I was just hoping I could get in touch with Buddy or someone else.
We tried to track him down at HMM's recently rented office space in downtown Kansas City. He wasn't there.
Excuse me, buddy. How you doing?
But we finally caught up with him outside this Overland Park office.
Can you just tell us why you're not willing to talk to us about this project? I mean, we really just want to give you a chance to answer some of the concerns or critiques people have had about the process.
No, I told you, I don't think it's in the school district's best interest.
And that was all he was willing to tell us.
Is there a reason you want to answer some of the questions? Do you see why this has the perception of being an inside deal?
Be frank with you, no. My process is focused on getting the best value for the taxpayer and providing the best possible environment for the kids. That's the only thing that I'm responsible for.
But in an effort to fix schools, some believe trust in the process was broken.
He knows better. The people in high-level Kansas City, they know better, and they need to fix this.
Here's a response from one of the competing companies, Johnson Controls. Quote, Mr. Haas had a clear advantage over the bid participants, and further, he had the ability to influence the district's decision-making process by being allowed to interact with all decision makers on the prior project, while other competitors were under a gag order. And Mark and Krista, those sentiments were echoed by some of the other companies I spoke with as well. Some even told me that they'd probably have second thoughts about bidding for another project somewhere down the road.
Wow.
Now you're already getting reaction to this story.
We are, including from the district. They sent out a press release defending the process earlier today. We've linked that entire press release along with that entire unedited interview with Mike Rounds on our website. I also spoke with the board president prior to our story airing. He said all of this took him by surprise. He claimed to not know anything about it, but he did tell me tonight that this came up in closed session where he and other board members are asking their legal counsel for review to see if there's anything else that should have been done differently with this process.
All right, Ryan, thanks.
Thanks.
Ryan's story started with a tip. If you have a tip for our investigative team, you can submit it online. Go to kshb.com/tips. It's that easy. So another topic, pick investigators.
A 41 Action News investigation raised serious ethical questions about a multi-million-dollar construction project for Kansas City Public Schools.
In fact, the district issued a news release before our story aired last night, but now investigator Ryan Kath is uncovering a major flaw in the district's promise to be transparent.
Krista, in that news release, the district tried to get ahead of our story and promised it was going to post the entire interview with this district leader on its website, but we discovered a very important part of our 40-minute exchange was missing.
Our 2-month investigation scrutinized the bidding process surrounding a pricey project to renovate Kansas City schools. We wanted to know how a businessman named Buddy Haas started as an unpaid district advisor.
Buddy did his pro bono for us.
So he advised you for free?
Yes.
But eventually established a mysterious company called HMM Construction Services and won the $32 million bid.
Is there a reason you want to answer some of the questions?
Along with obtaining bid documents and district emails, our investigation included a lengthy interview with Chief Operating Officer Mike Rounds. Last night, the district issued this press release calling the process, quote, transparent and ethical. It also promised full video of our interview with Rounds on its website. Upon first glance, it looked like the real deal. District officials even left the camera rolling after we finished the interview and started walking around. However, we took a closer look and discovered a major portion of the interview was missing. Here's what the district didn't want you to see.
Did you ask Buddy when he was advising you to sign a non-disclosure agreement?
I did not.
Why not?
I'm not even sure what value that would have, so I guess you'd have to explain to me why you're asking that question.
Our competitive bidding expert explained non-disclosure agreements are standard business practice to keep consultants or advisors like Haas from using inside information to their advantage.
It boggles the mind. There is absolutely no reason not to have them sign that agreement. It would have been the first instinct of anybody trying to do it right.
Competitive bidding 101, I would think.
No, it's competitive bidding 1. It's well before 101.
We also showed you this email. proof the district's attorney had confirmed, quote, an emphasis on the value of a non-disclosure agreement.
Should you have done it?
As the individual running the process, should I have done it? Maybe, but it's something that I have to go back and assess now.
But you won't find this video on the district's website. The most revealing part of the interview, more than 8 minutes worth, was edited out. So unless the definition of full video has changed, this promise for transparency looks a little fuzzy.
We've had the entire video posted on our website since last night, so you can go to KSHB.com and check that out. Mark and Krista, it's a 40-minute interview like we said. If you want to go, it's broken up into 7 different clips. If you want to go to clips 4 and 5, those contain the missing 8-minute section that was on the district's website.
You're getting some reaction from this, too.
We are getting a lot of reaction from people out there in the public. They're sending in more tips about this particular investigation, more tips about other things we should check out. So keep those tips coming. We're looking into any and all leads, and we're going to stay on this story.
All right, Ryan, Kath, thanks.
Well, the 41 Action News investigation uncovered serious ethical questions about a multi-million-dollar project.
Investigator Ryan Kath is here now with new developments tied to the story you broke last month, Ryan.
Well, Mark, a spokesman with the Missouri State Auditor told me the office received a lot of tips and complaints following our investigation. Auditors are now beginning their follow-up report, and we've learned they won't be alone.
Our 2-month investigation scrutinized the bidding process surrounding a pricey project to renovate Kansas City schools. We wanted to know how a businessman named Buddy Hawes started as an unpaid district advisor, but eventually established a mysterious company called Construction Services and won the $32 million bid.
Is there a reason you want to answer some of the questions?
Our investigation caught the attention of Missouri State Auditor Thomas Schweik. His office released this audit of Kansas City Public Schools last October, but after getting a number of tips following our report, he's informed the district his team is returning for a follow-up visit.
Do you see why this has the perception of being an inside deal?
Be frank with you, no.
We've also learned Chief Operating Officer Mike Rounds, the district official who oversaw the process, has initiated an internal audit. In the coming weeks, McGladdery will conduct its own investigation of Project 360. We'll continue watching to see if the reports tell the same story or paint 2 different pictures of a bid process now under the microscope.
The state auditor estimates the follow-up report will be complete in late April or early May. No timetable on the district's internal audit yet. We've requested more details about the scope of that audit along with the cost to taxpayers, and we'll continue to follow the story. You can find a link to our full investigation on our website, KSHB.com. Just click on News and look under the Investigators tab. Ryan Kath, NBC Action News.
Good evening. Welcome to 41 Action News at 5. I'm Elizabeth Alex in for Krista Dubill tonight. Breaking news there is more fallout from a 41 News investigation. A top administrator with Kansas City Public Schools has resigned. Investigator Ryan Kath is here with the latest twist to a story we broke last month. Fascinating story, Ryan. What's the latest?
Well, Elizabeth, sources within the district told me Chief Operating Officer Mike Rounds turned in his resignation letter today. And within the hour, a district spokesman confirmed that development. Do you see why this has the perception of being an inside deal?
Be frank with you, no.
Rounds was the person in charge of selecting a company for a $32 million project to renovate Kansas City schools. As our investigation exposed, Rounds used a businessman named Buddy Hawes as an unpaid advisor early in the process. However, Hawes later established his own company called Construction Services, made a bid on that contract, and won. Critics called it a monster inside deal, but Rounds defended the process, and the district even issued a news release the night our investigation aired, calling it, quote, ethical and transparent. Now, as we told you last week, the state auditor is now coming in for a closer look at that project. The district also hired a company to perform an internal audit regarding that process. Now, the district just told me it's working on a statement regarding this resignation. We'll have that for you along with any other new developments coming up at 6. For now, I'm investigative reporter Ryan Kath, 41 Action News.
Tonight, a 41 Action News investigation is getting results.
We learned there are big developments surrounding a multi-million-dollar contract to renovate Kansas City Public Schools. Investigator Ryan Kath has been following the story for 5 months and is here with the surprising twist now. Ryan.
Mark, we had an interview with Superintendent Stephen Green today and expected to discuss the findings of this internal audit, which had many of the same points raised by our investigation. But then Dr. Green dropped a bombshell announcement. What surprised you the most about the findings?
I found things that I expected to find.
Superintendent Stephen Green is referring to this internal audit, which scrutinized the process surrounding Project 360. A multi-million-dollar effort to make Kansas City school buildings more energy efficient.
Is there a reason you want to answer some of the questions?
Our investigation discovered an unpaid advisor in the process named Buddy Hawes eventually established his own company called HMM Construction Services and won the lucrative bid.
Do you see why this has the perception of being an inside deal?
Be frank with you, no.
While the audit found no evidence of a district employee acting fraudulently, it did identify a significant number of issues with the process.
I think any good organization, any healthy organization uses this as a teachable moment.
None of the other proposers had that kind of inside knowledge.
UMKC law professor Bill Black, who reviewed documents for our initial investigation, says the audit did a good job of pointing out policy violations, but fell short of criticizing the conflict of interest.
If there no rules existed, you would never do it the way they did, because it's an open invitation to abuse, and abuse isn't cost-free.
When we asked about reevaluating the contract decision, Green shocked us with this.
I do have reservations about the selection of the firm, and we've made a decision not to continue that.
So let me get this straight. HMM is no longer overseeing Project 360.
Will not be.
Has HMM been informed of this decision?
They're being informed as we speak.
Is our investigation leading to some positive changes in the way the district's doing business?
I wouldn't say that. I'd say that this audit that we initiated is really the catalyst for me in my decision making.
No matter how it happened, Black says the end result is what matters.
It violated their own rules, it violated common sense, and it was a terrible way to do a contract and a really good way to produce a disaster. I'm thankful that they've reevaluated and killed the contract.
One of the biggest requirements of this project was getting air conditioning installed at 3 buildings before the start of the next school year this fall. Green told us it became obvious that HMM would not be meeting that important deadline and would likely run over budget. So Mark and Elizabeth, just to be clear, the project is still going to be taking place, but unfortunately for those students at those 3 schools, they're going to have to wait 1 more year to get that air conditioning.
Oh, back to something Dr. Green said. Now, didn't your investigation lead to that audit that he credits with bringing all this to light?
We certainly thought so, but Dr. Green emphasized that they decided to do the audit on their own, and they've done audits for other things as well. So that was his answer to that question, because I did ask him if our investigation initiated the internal audit.
Well, good work.
Yeah, very interesting. Thanks, Ryan.